Hey, everybody, welcome to the Ruin Podcast. I am your host along with my co-host. Should I say my name first?
My name is Brooks.
What's my name?
With me, as always, is Jeff and Noah.
Thanks, Brooks.
And that's really not your name, is it?
It is my name.
We got a new
I don't
name.
have a rapper name. I'm not a rapper.
Swissy D. Swissy Dunkin'
Why does it have
Burger.
to be about cheese?
That's what I was wondering.
Well-
Are you a big cheese fan or something?
I also liked white cheese, but you thought that wouldn't appeal to your demographic.
So, just because I look like a white guy?
He's just a white slice of
You look
American
like
cheese.
What's
You look
your
like
name?
cheese. What's my name?
Like, you look like an Arab man. So, like, what's your
Well, that's a little uncalled for, but broccoli teeth was what I was going for.
maybe Osama bin Eaton?
Oh. Anybody got any aloe vera? I just got roasted and burned. That's twice now. First Tia, now Brooks. It is what it is.
I can't be a cheese name. I can't. My rapper name can't be based on cheese.
He's the milkman.
You are the milkman.
I'll be MC Milkman before I'm MC Havarti or...
How come all of your rapper names are dairy related?
I don't know. It's a coincidence, I think.
Oh, man. Well, off to a good start here today on this episode of Ruined. Got some things we want to jump into. Being in the state of Iowa, we'll talk about them girls. Them Hawkeye girls.
They some
Women's
dogs.
basketball.
Some dogs.
I'm sure you guys are following it as much as anybody in Iowa is.
Yes.
Obviously, we've got the greatest basketball player that was ever born on Earth,
Jeff.
named Caitlin Clark.
Oh.
Definitely not Jeff.
Not Jeff.
Yeah.
I would definitely win in a 21 contest at this table, though.
In 21?
It wouldn't be close.
No, you're
It wouldn't even be close.
set up a hoop, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I'd take you up on that right now.
I've never played
My gosh.
I've never played a regulation minute of basketball in my life, but I still think
That's
I could.
right, because you were a swimmer.
I did swim for 2 years.
You just don't have the look of a swimmer.
No, they did
You look
not
more
think-
like a floater.
I mean,
I was a hell of a swimmer too. I was a lifeguard.
Then you beat all the other kids up, you said,
No, I
at the
actually,
parties.
yeah, I got hit with a ping pong paddle at a party by
A swimmer.
yeah, and swimmers. if
Michael
you-
Phelps beat you up.
so
No.
were you like waxing yourself? How does it work there?
I didn't grow hair back then, so I didn't worry about it.
So you were hairless as a youth?
like
Like you
I
didn't
didn't
start
have
growing
chest.
hair until after
Well,
high school?
I'm not swimming butt naked. It's not like my ass hair was going to slow me down. I started growing like chest hair after high school. Yeah. This is
Where do I go from here? How do you want me to, how do you want me to proceed?
This is the second show talking about my body hair.
I forgot about Manscaped.
Yeah.
Still looking for that sponsorship, by the way. We have yet to hear from Manscaped.
Yeah, they're coming though. Just wait.
Well, Tia, will you tag them? Tag Manscaped moving forward.
Yeah,
So,
we need the lawnmowers stat.
anyways, more excitement about women's basketball probably than there's ever been in my lifetime.
Never in my lifetime have I paid as much attention to women's basketball as I have the past couple of years, and it just seems like it's so much more fun to watch than the men for some reason.
I had
so.
somebody from a steel mill call me yesterday asking about Caitlin Clark. Like
Yeah,
if I knew her.
She's like a worldwide phenomenon.
Yeah, we met-
It's not just a local thing anymore. For
We
the
met
past few
people in
years.
Mexico, and we told them we were from Iowa, and they're like, "Oh, you guys got Caitlin Clark," and that's all they knew.
And now Ice Cube offered her $5 million to play in that new 3-on-3 league.
I think Dave Portnoy offered her it's like 50 million or something, or maybe not 50 million. It was a large amount of money for her to play in her intramural league for Barstool.
She'd probably win.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think she'd probably be the all-star of that league too. Caitlin, we're proud of you. Good job.
Incredible. Awesome way to represent the state of Iowa. And we need it because, man, this is a sports desert here. So it's just good to see.
Until this spring.
What happens this spring?
Professional football coming to
True that.
the Cedar Valley.
The Iowa Woo.
Yeah.
Finally.
Probably not
we've got
good to
a
plug
football team.
myself, but I'll say that.
I'm plugging it today.
We'll stay
Yeah.
tuned for that.
Yeah,
guys.
look at that.
I'm plugging it.
Where's yours?
Yeah.
Where's yours?
Oh, I can't wear my own shirt. That's like wearing
Like the band.
Yeah, band deal. You can't. If you're going to see Sticks, you can't wear the
You can't wear
Sticks
a
shirt.
Stick
to
You
the
got to wear a
shirt.
Boston shirt to a stick show.
That's right. Yeah. You know who any of those people are?
I've heard of Sticks. I don't know Boston.
Oh man,
What about Kansas?
not the state.
No.
Kansas, Boston, and Sticks, all pretty much interchangeable.
They might
Really?
be the same band. We don't
Yeah.
know that.
What about Fish?
Fish is a jam band. That's a different thing.
I think what he's referring to is when you said you were going to go to a Fish concert at the.
He said he was going to see Fish in Vegas. I'm like, oh, that's cool. They must have like a big aquarium or something.
They've got several aquariums.
Where's it at?
I'm like, wow.
The Sphere, yeah.
I'm like, wow, he just likes fish and aquariums and such. It's a band.
No, and it's $1,000 to get to that show now because all the tickets sold out. And now it's just resellers.
So they're a very well-known band that Noah doesn't know about. He thinks you're going to $1,000 aquarium.
Exactly.
I thought you were balling out
to go see some fish swim.
I thought you were balling out to see some sea turtles.
No. I swam with a sweet sea turtle once. So.
Really?
What?
I did, yeah. It
On
was
purpose?
well, not really. We were snorkeling
Okay.
in on the Big Island of Hawaii, and me and a buddy of mine went out there, not really knowing what we were doing, and we got the worst sunburns like you would as fat Iowa boys going to Hawaii for the first time. But we went out into this little cove. It was like $15 to rent the snorkeling gear and stuff. We get down. We get out a ways, and man, the sea life out there was fucking incredible. But yeah, there was a huge sea turtle. It was like half the size of a Volkswagen that we just kind of swam along with for a while.
That turtle called the cops on you.
Yeah,
afterwards.
what'd you name him?
We didn't come up with a name for him, but I almost died that day because like I popped up and the water was super rough, and I'm having to get back to shore, and I'm not going to make it. So there's all these like rocky outcroppings and stuff, and I'm swimming at one of them. And as soon as I get close, I see that this thing's covered in like little fucking black crabs. And I can't find handholds on this thing because I think these crabs are going to start pecking me to death. Right.
They're going to start war.
But I did, and I got back, and it was fine.
Snorkeling is easy when your face is in the water and you're swimming. You bring
Is that how you swam competitively?
Yeah, I swam with a snorkel on the swim team.
Well, yeah, like if you're out in the ocean and you're just floating
Yeah,
with
it's
the
easy.
current, then it's easy. Right. But then you pop up and suddenly you're 100 yards from shore.
And you're like, oh, fuck.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was fun, but it was a little bit rough.
Thank you for that story, Brooks.
You're welcome.
I'm glad we did that.
Jeff hates when you tell the story because he's going to just get you with that sarcastic, thanks for that story. Thanks for killing our time.
I know.
Where I didn't get to talk.
Nobody can tell stories except for Jeff. You have to take a license out with Jeff to tell the story.
I will say that I'm the worst person on planet Earth at telling a story. I add in way extra detail that doesn't need to be added, and it goes on for 15 minutes for me to say that I got tomato soup at the grocery store last night. There's usually an event that takes place, so if you guys happen to run into me, I won't try to take up much of your time. But so we little programming note. We had a little malfunction on one of our shows, but we have come back. So kind of into our next segment here. We did have an episode last week regarding the NCAA tournament bracket, but now this is going to not make sense timeline-wise. So we are into the second round, and I am happy to report that yours truly is leading the office pool.
You're in second to last.
No, I am not.
I just saw the
I am not in
score.
second to last. I am in first. You are in second to last.
I'm in last. You're second to last.
No.
Is that not right?
Did you change it?
I didn't change it, but here's how Jeff took the lead is once the numbers were posted, he ran an audit and then somehow was able to grab a couple more points to take the lead over me by one.
I want to point out that basic math is hard in this office, apparently, so I had to do it for you guys. Also my worst subject, and you guys shorted me.
I mean, you just said it is your worst subject. So I think we need to audit the audit and figure out who the real leader is. And I think when the truth comes out, it's going to be me.
That is also false, but I'd love to do this.
Hey, Iowa State plays tonight, though. Are you going to watch it?
The Cyclods?
Yeah.
You got them winning, don't you?
Yeah, he's got him taking the whole thing.
Yeah, I got Iowa State taking.
So we kind of need to redo this, and unfortunately, one of my Final Four is no longer in the tournament.
Oh, my finalist is not in the tournament.
You had Kansas?
I had Kansas going all the way.
All right. Well, I had as my Final Four, I had Iowa State, University of North Carolina, Purdue, and Kentucky. And Kentucky is no longer in. And by Kentucky, I mean Kentucky is no longer in the tournament of basketball.
I'm really screwed because I had them as well.
Yeah, it's really just a random thing. You know, you fill these things out and hope for the best, but to try to do it in a logical way, it never really pans out. So one guy I know just flipped coins, and heads was the top team, tails was the bottom, and he's leading his pool currently. So
Nice.
yeah, well, that's just what this tournament is.
I've got some friends that they do a pool with their family, but they only do it on mascots. whichever mascot is cooler or not cooler, and their kids are involved, and they pick whether they like the Tigers or the Bears.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
And that's probably just as effective as guys, even odds makers that try to run through these things.
Yeah, not really happy with the University of Baylor. Lost me $3,500 over the weekend here. Well, they didn't lose me 30. They just did not help me win $3,500. So
didn't you have a parlay?
Yeah,
like 12 leg or something.
Well, they tell you not to go.
Yeah, I mean, if you're stringing 12 leggers out there and
I missed it by one. I missed it by one. That's what
that's
we're
all
at.
you missed it by?
Yeah, it was the Baylor game, and they almost tied it and won. And but they would have had to win by, I think, 5 or 6, if I remember right. So, but anyways, exciting sports time of year. We got the Masters coming up. And golf's been exciting, and we've got the men's and women's tournament, obviously, so a lot going on. So.
Yeah, Iowa has bowed out of the NIT, which I guess isn't that shocking. What is kind of shocking to me is that the coach's boy would enter the transfer portal for his last year. So what does that say about the state of Iowa or the University of Iowa athletics? McCaffrey.
He's going?
He's leaving.
I didn't know that.
He's leaving for his last year where his dad coaches?
Yeah, exactly.
Does that mean dad's leaving too?
Does it? That's the question.
And he's also, I think, the romantic partner.
It's his brother.
Oh, his brother's the romantic partner of Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, Connor is Caitlin Clark's love interest, and Patrick is his brother. So, yeah, Patrick's bailing for his 5th and final year, which is a bummer. But, yeah, it might tell you a little something about what's in store for Iowa basketball next year. Perhaps Fran is out.
And you're not a big fan of this transfer stuff.
I think it sucks. I mean, there's no. It's like every year, are you going to get a new team? It's the same with football. We just had that Proctor kid out of Alabama commit and then decommit and go back to Alabama. So what does that mean? You know, like
somebody paid him more money, Brooks. That's what that means. It's no different in the scrap industry. You think there's a transfer portal in the scrap industry?
Can you imagine trading?
Are you available? You're fielding offers right now.
Can you imagine trading around some scrap employees?
Oh man, employees. Yeah, that could be very interesting. Yeah. We should just do it between our yards. Yeah, we'll have a draft and we'll start choosing people. That would be a fun time. So, I'm going to do something unprecedented with the show. I'm going to talk about some scrap stuff.
Oh,
yeah. So,
all right.
Oh, yeah. I
guess so. Yeah, I hope you boys are ready for that. So, I want to talk about how this industry unfortunately gets a bad name sometimes. There's an article in the news that 7.2 tons of cocaine were found in a Bolivian scrap metal shipment in a container. Brooks, where did you find that article?
This is a story out of CBS News. Tucker Reels, it looks like, was the author on this one. But yeah, interesting story here. They found 7.2 tons of cocaine in a scrap metal shipment headed for a port in Chile.
Damn.
So first of all, after looking at this article, it just happened to be in a shipping container that had some scrap metal. The article really makes it seem like this is a prevalent thing that we're doing in the scrap industry. The headline, I should say. But,
right. The craziest part of this whole deal, though, is the volume. Like, what is 7?
It's a lot of partying.
Well, that's like the size of a car. That's a rock of cocaine the size of a vehicle, right?
That's weighs more than a vehicle.
If I remember, because me and Noah just like to look at pictures, not read words.
Yeah.
The pictures, it was broken up into some individual shipments. I don't think it was one rock, Brooks.
I mean, it just seems like an incredible amount of product there.
And in the story, they talk about there was one earlier this year that they found, don't quote me, I think it was going to Europe, that it was more. It was more volume.
Just
on this one that we're talking about, though, they equated it to $451 million.
Did they find out who's sending it?
No, I don't. Well, they're probably not going to tell us about that.
Yeah.
They wouldn't say that?
Anywhere in Central or South America, your guess is as good as anyone else's, man. It seems like everybody there has probably got a hand in producing cocaine. So that's wild, though, that you could get that kind of. I mean, if they're willing to ship that much volume, then they've done it before successfully, right?
Right.
They
wouldn't go out on a whim,
right?
Sending 7.2 tons.
I mean, if they're cool with sending 7 tons of cocaine in one container, then they're doing it all the time.
What do you think the price on that is? Like,
Well,
how much?
they said 451 million is what is the dollar amount of, or what they equivalent it to.
Damn.
So, or about half of my next winning lottery ticket.
I wish you the best of luck there, Jeff. But
Did that
it's
get
hard.
drawn the other day?
Currently batting 0.
Did that get drawn last
I'm
night?
winning the lottery.
They drew a statewide one, didn't they? Where somebody won like a couple $1,000,000.
It was 500,000. Stephanie sent that to us.
All right.
Coming up in the show later. Stephanie Gerst, HR director. She sent that and asked if it was me. No, it was not.
It was out of
Maybe it is. You just don't tell us.
Davenport?
County, which we're there.
Oh, Mason City. You're right. Yep,
Yeah.
Mason City. We have a scrapyard up that way.
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't us.
I just don't buy lottery tickets anymore.
Can't win if you don't play, Brooks.
You can't win if you do play, though.
What about scratchers? Are you in scratch investment?
No,
Or
I
pull
don't buy
tabs?
sometimes if I'm drunk enough, I'll buy some pull tabs, but that's as far as it goes.
Best
for me for
investment of
lottery.
all time.
I haven't been to a bar that
and
has
then
pull
now
tabs
you're
yet.
committed to
Ever?
peeling
No.
50 pull tabs. Like that's the
Do you hear
game.
this?
What,
He's never been to a bar that has pull tabs.
dude? Every bar around you has had pull
Right.
tabs. It's
No,
usually like a staple in a small town bar.
I know, and I've never seen them.
You don't go, I won't mention the name of the bar, but you don't go to the top bar and grab some pull tabs?
There's none up there.
No way.
I swear. There's barely a bar.
That's true. But we'll just go throw a stone the next time I'm down there and I'll find you a bar that's got
There's
pull
got to
tabs.
be plenty of pull tabs
Yeah.
down in your neck, dude.
I really would have thought our favorite bar would have it, Haverhill, but they don't have them.
They don't.
So that's my definition.
There's no rules at Haverhill
There's not. That's
Shout
my
out.
definition of a small town bar, though.
because there's no rules.
No, just what it is.
You're saying it is what it is?
I mean, what's,
No, it is a
what's
small
the
town bar.
criteria? Just like a dive bar that has
A
chips,
bar
for
at a
food
small
and maybe
town?
a pizza.
No, this place has good food.
They do have some good pizza. I'll give them that.
Good food and good times usually.
Great times.
Great times.
You tend to serve yourself there, don't you?
Not really.
So like you'll get brave
I
enough to
stood-
go back behind the
Stood
bar.
at your
and-
Coyote Doug.
I stood on the bar on my birthday and caught my head in the ceiling fan and knocked me right back down. And then I
Our
danced.
producer Tia thought that was really funny.
I danced with the bartender that night.
So you're dancing on the bar as a
Well,
man.
I didn't dance because I was up there for like 0.5 seconds and boom, got hit with the fan and knocked me back down to my seat. The bartender
worst.
didn't even see me. It was that quick.
Can you just behave, please? You represent a brand now, and
I wasn't wearing
actually,
the
it
shirt.
might be fitting of the brand you're representing.
It
So,
is.
anyways, yeah. Again, guys, we keep pulling this off topic, but getting back to in the news.
in the news.
We got another story.
that I thought was interesting was the. So this is out of My Bellingham Now. This is a state of Washington publication. Joe Tehan was the author on this one. So this one is about the Port of Bellingham ending their contract with ABC Recycling, which is a pretty sizable scrap outfit, isn't it, Jeff?
I believe
ABC
so,
has a number of facilities around the country.
We may have
don't
been
they?
talking about two different ABCs when I said that earlier.
In any case, yeah. So these guys just do
The same alphabet, but
It seems
two different
like
companies.
complaints around the area. They're shutting their scrap metal operation down. These guys have got to have all their scrap metal piles removed from that area by June 30, or they're paying $1,000 a day.
Jeez.
You know, so the question really is, what kind of precedent does this set for other people in the industry?
What's their issue?
Well, the issue seems to be noise. There's been noise complaints from neighbors around that area.
At the port.
Right. And there's also some kind of violations that include berthing a ship at an unauthorized location without permission. And then, some violations of the Department of Ecology regulations.
Now, I'm no realtor, which could be a whole nother segment of this show that we'll leave for now. They've got some stuff going on. But you mean to tell me the people who decided to purchase residence near a shipping port are upset that there's noises going on.
That's just
at
one
the
of the
shipping port.
That's just one of the several different reasons why that these guys cite that they're being removed. So it doesn't make any sense to me. There's got to be a little bit more to the story. It makes more sense that if these guys are constantly in violation of whatever the regs are down there at the port, that they might be warned. But to just be removed. Seems a little excessive.
Fishy
and it's kind
at
of
the
scary,
port, Brooks.
right? For anybody that runs a scrapyard, you don't want to be
told you can't run the scrapyard no more.
Do it.
Yeah.
So what is that?
Well, one, and then where does this material now go?
Well,
what happens
right.
to that? We're not furthering the cause, if you will.
Exactly.
By doing that. Ironically, I can relate to this story, or we can relate to this story. Within the last 6 months, we had somebody during the day, during 8 to 5. It's actually longer than that, but we had somebody during our normal business hours penetrate our fence. Is that a good way to describe that, Brooks?
There was penetration.
Through the fence. A lady who was upset that we were torching steel.
Right.
And I don't even think it was smell. I think it was because she could hear the torch, if I remember correctly.
That's what it was. And she also had a weapon. She was carrying like some kind of crocodile Dundee
She
blade.
She
was wielding a knife in
like,
its sheath still.
Right. A knife that you would get like at the fair or something. Right.
Like has a deer antler as a handle.
Like a survival knife with a compass.
Right. But anyway, she, instead of coming to the office to talk to anybody in here, she took it upon herself to
torch man.
Bridge our fencing area. Mm-hmm. Bridging's probably not the right word. Breach.
Yeah, she
breach.
Penetrated or she breached.
She breached the perimeter, which is a pretty solid structure. But clearly we've got a weak point somewhere.
Right. She found it and she popped through that baby and she came and she's threatening employees.
She must have been a Navy SEAL in her past life or something. She's playing seafood.
Maybe there wasn't a breach at all. Maybe she hurdled it. Maybe she just got a mean running start and just
catapulted
over that baby.
Maybe they launched her.
Or maybe she went under it. We don't know. In any case,
I didn't think about going under.
Well, she could have tunneled.
Maybe she's got underground tunnels
thing, right?
Yeah. This has been planned for years.
The open gate.
Like she's been planning this. Like there's so much animosity that's built up, and she's just been tunneling, waiting for her chance.
Needless to say, we took a look at the situation and realized that not only were we wearing safety gear and doing everything correctly, we were also below the decibel level of where we were supposed to be at by just torching steel.
And there's been a scrapyard on this property for 75 years.
Right.
So she wants to move into a rental next to a scrapyard. Might want to take a look in the mirror.
Buy some earplugs.
But I think we could probably go around the entire country and have very similar episodes.
Right.
My former boss used to, if they had a neighbor complaint, he would just sit outside their house blaring Tupac and Biggie as loud as his truck speakers would go, which usually wasn't good for PR stuff. No. But nevertheless, I digress. So we got some positive news in the world of steel too. We've got a new steel mill coming to the state of California. Brooks, is that correct?
Yeah. So they're building their first new steel mill in 50 years. And if the state of California's, if you're able to do it within that state with
no kidding
all the regulations that we know exist there, it's a good sign for the economy.
Let's give it up for those folks.
Right. It's a good sign for California.
We need more homes.
Right. Exactly.
More demand.
And it's good for scrappers in that region. So, yeah, I think that's a great story. And
you've got some important thoughts on that one, right?
On that one? No, I don't. All right. All I know is California's got to be the most strict state in the country to try to produce any sort of manufacturing or anything like a steel mill.
Got some regulation, yeah, for sure.
Like smog testing, they gotta have to pass that or something like that.
Right.
I mean, they smog test vehicles for crying out loud. I can't imagine what they're gonna do to a steel mill.
Do you run any smog tests?
I do not. No.
You don't? Just not in the scrapyard, just in your personal life.
No, I don't smog test.
You used to be a supplier of smogging devices, though. I think we've talked about this on the show, right?
I don't think so.
Where you were an illegal vape dealer.
Yeah, I sold
now
vapes.
they know. Now they know about you.
Yeah, I sold vapes to minors in high school. I wasn't a minor. I was 18.
Oh. That's a problem.
That's illegal.
Yeah.
So you never cared about no regulations.
Yeah, you've never followed the law.
Yeah,
You're basically the living embodiment of Dukes of Hazzard.
right.
Yeah.
Hazards with an S.
Or like Steven Seagal, like above the law.
You don't know who that is.
That's the guy with the ponytail.
Yeah.
He's got a ponytail.
You are kind of the Steven Seagal of your generation.
I don't know what he did. All I know is he had a
He
ponytail.
karate chopped people and like talked to them in a very stern voice about their problems. Like, you're going to wind up hurt someday if you keep this going.
Yeah, and it didn't matter if it was a stranger or his own grandmother. It was the same treatment.
What movie was he?
Grandma,
What movie
coming
was he
over
in?
for turkey.
He was in Hard Target. He was in also another movie called Hard to Kill.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that.
Guess what
All
that
of
was
these
about?
movies are
He
basically the
wasn't
same.
killed.
He wasn't killed. Yeah. But
He can't be killed.
who do you got in a fight? Chuck Norris or Steven Seagal?
Norris all day long.
Trevette
all
or
day.
Steven Seagal?
What about Bruce Lee?
Probably Trevette. Bruce Lee takes Steven Seagal too. I mean, I guess
Why the fuck do I got to be Steven Seagal?
in a fight.
There's a reason. There's a reason.
Maybe if it's Noah up against Steven Seagal, then Seagal wins.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have no faith in Noah.
I beg to
Well,
differ.
Seagal's a trained fighter.
Yeah, but this is a solid, man of pud.
Yeah.
Over
I
here.
just,
He's gonna hit me and
I
bounce
question-
off.
Yeah, like Play-Doh.
I don't
I'm
know.
like kinetic sand in a bag.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, come hit me.
Oh man, this is we missed this because this was the last podcast, but we had a very long discussion about how what's the saying about his body?
What that his body makes him look weaker than he actually is.
Yeah,
So he's
That's
actually
not how it-
he's
yeah,
actually
that's not how it came
stronger
out.
than his
Well,
body makes him look.
yeah.
Right. That's just it. Like you can't look at me and gauge my strength because my strength is so far beyond a visual thing.
beyond comprehension.
It's a supernatural thing. Is what I was meaning to say.
What happened to you?
I don't know. I don't know.
There is a strength. There's a word for that strength.
Yeah, we
I
can't say that
it,
on
but
this
there
show.
is a word for it.
Yeah, you got
might have it.
special strength.
I see what you're trying to do here. and
I'm not.
I'm not.
It's special.
You said it.
Yeah,
All right.
You're gonna get canceled, not me.
Swissy D. Love that name for you, by the way.
I don't.
You don't like that or white cheese?
We're your entourage, and we need to have a name.
How about
too.
white cheddar?
I mean, who wants a
white American
rapper
slice?
name that's cheese?
Can I give a shout out to? And I feel like we've talked about this, so I apologize as a repeat. But we met a buyer that we're gonna have on the show, I think, in Vegas, who word for word quoted Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Oh, yes.
Brooks was
Incredible.
blown away.
Yeah.
Brooks got down on one knee.
Right.
Well, this is a guy that you would, to take a look at, you wouldn't expect him to ever
let's
have.
not
He's
give
not
it.
as old as he actually looks.
Let's not give it away.
All right.
Let's have that a surprise for when we're doing it in Vegas.
Yeah, and maybe we can get him to.
he'll
He
bust
might
it
do
out.
it on
Yeah. All right.
air. That would
All
be
right.
great. So, finally in the news, not so much scrap related. Besides some, there's going to be some scrap to be had, but unfortunate scene in Baltimore where a cargo ship took out a bridge there.
Yeah, it's so rough.
That
one
looked
of the
like
weirdest
a movie
videos.
scene.
That's
well,
F. Scott Key, right?
yeah, the
Yeah.
F. Scott Key Bridge. So the video that I saw, this thing,
Is that the national anthem, dude?
Francis Scott Key wrote
Yes,
the national anthem.
Yeah.
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 God bless America.
So this boat loses power. I'm sure everybody's seen the video by now, but it's like as soon as the thing touches that one
It
support,
dropped.
the whole bridge drops. So our bridge is that precarious that if one column goes down, the whole thing just dominoes.
So you're a conspiracy theorist.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I just thought that bridges were a little bit more stout than that.
Did anything come about of the construction crew that was on it? Or are they still all
I think
missing?
they found a couple of them. I don't
Damn.
think they're pulling survivors
Oh,
out at this
geez.
point, though.
No, they
So
did
it's
find.
a
I
rough
saw
deal.
this morning they found a couple of vehicles and
Yeah.
things like that. So very unfortunate, but yeah, it's a
what's
story
the-
we got to talk about.
Right.
So-
Well, what's the salvage operation look like for something like that? You know, you got to think that they're going to try to recover all that material. How do you do that in the
Well, I think-
ocean?
totally off subject here, but they
have.
have closed a bridge down in Alameda County, Iowa. That they should let us scrap, which I don't know what the plan is with that, but
Yeah, well,
folks of
that's-
Alameda, Iowa, if you're listening, we'd love to come help you with that project. So
Yeah, I don't know if that one's coming down or if they just have to, do some repairs.
Re-support it.
Can you imagine being the scrapyard that receives the steel from that bridge, though, in the county in the area?
How do you get it out of the water?
Well, it's no different
Well, they
than
have-
the bridge beams we do.
You're putting a crane on
but
a
not
barge.
something that's like a
National
big,
disaster.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah. No, it's
But they definitely have barges that go out there with excavators and all that. They'll probably have a barge follow and they'll load it from the front.
we have this
I
was
think you'd have to be cutting on that stuff in the water too, because they're not going to be able to pick them up in those
They probably have the long reach shear attachments, I'd assume.
Yeah. If anybody's got any expertise on that,
Hit us up.
hit us up.
We'd like to know how that works.
at ruinpod.com. Did I
You'll
get
have
that
to
one
talk to
right,
Tia.
You're going to talk to Tia.
Sorry.
And
If you have
hopefully
any
she's nice to you
information on,
because it's
Not looking good around
here.
any info on how salvage works in the water like that, we'd love to hear about it.
We've done some smaller bridges here in town. Do you remember Maddie? Were you around for Maddie? Mm-hmm. Do you remember Maddie? He had a little stint here like last summer.
Maddie.
He's an older gentleman, but he used to run one of our older shears that we had. And they basically built a bank up for him. And he just cruised on out there. I mean, the Cedar River's not very deep, but he just cruised on out there and he's just sitting in the river cutting stuff off.
That's got to be the picture that's on our old brochures.
Yeah, that's him.
I've seen that.
Yeah. Yeah, Maddie's a good dude. And we've done some work like that before. But yeah, it's going to have to happen for sure now. And I have not heard anything on the effect of obviously transportation in that area. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, I don't know
like
anything about like geographically what that bridge connects. I don't know anything about that region. So I'm sure it's devastating for those people. And, prayers go out to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we got to turn around, Brooks, and bring this back to excitement.
I think we can get excited about our guest.
That's what we're doing.
Let's go for it.
I be honest with you, nobody is ever excited to talk to a human resources director
Until
today. Until today. Joining us now, all the way from down the hall, Miss Stephanie Gerst, HR Director of Push Iron and Metals.
Ooh,
yeah, Steph.
The principal's here.
Yeah, true that.
Here.
Right before you came in, I said, you're, the HR Director is always everybody's favorite person to talk to.
This HR person is everybody's favorite.
That's,
everybody?
Yeah. What do you mean by everybody?
Well, am I
Name
not?
three.
Noah, Jeff, and Brooks.
Damn it, I should have said four.
Tia.
Have you talked to Tia today?
She's mad.
Yeah, she's
She's
very angry elf.
She hollered at Jeff
Mad.
while we were setting up, which is amazing.
No.
What are you doing?
She said, don't be sassy with me then. Just like that. Like my 18.
her.
Yeah, good for her.
her.
What about
stand,
me?
Tia.
Take a
How come you
stand.
never defend me ever? Yeah, true that. That's what this place is about.
There's a lot of defending to do there.
Of me? What the fuck?
Hey,
Now I'm offended that you're not defending me.
You got to get a tougher skin.
Oh, here we go.
All right, so
Empathy's out the window. Yeah.
That was
for most be for
23.
No, yeah, right. Empathy in 2024 is gone. Just for me though, not for you people.
Oh.
So what are we supposed to do?
Be empathetic to me now. All
right,
I had to hold everybody's hand before you go on this very extensive
ignore your
quest.
problems for a
Yeah,
little bit.
ignore my problems.
You can
but I
talk
want
to a
point
therapist.
out there's a thank you. There's a very brewing controversy at this table that you may have fixed the tournament brackets here.
Well, I did get a hold of the teams, and I was like, "Hey, I really cannot let Jeff win this.
Not
Can
that.
you throw the game."
Yeah, no, not throwing
Oh.
the game, not counting my score, and Brooks is upset about it now.
Because Jeff's scores had to be audited.
I just don't feel like as a participant you should be able to audit with no kind of supervision. You can just
There was
audit this and
supervision.
pull points out of wherever you pulled
There
them
was
from.
supervision, and on top of it
Who
was
supervised it?
Stephanie did.
No, I was not there when that happened.
Right. So
All I know.
You're the one that changed it on the board. What do you mean
I
you
took
weren't
your
there
word
when it
for
happened?
it. You told me that. Hey, I had 35 points. I'm like,
You
oh,
sat
I
there
must
and
have
counted the
miscounted.
points up in front of me.
See, I don't think I'm in last place.
Probably not.
You should audit yourself.
Yeah, I don't even know how to count the points on these things, so.
Don't worry, Steph don't know how to do math. So anyway, Stephanie, thank you for joining us today and to talk about the exciting adventure that is being the human resources director, not only of our scrapyard, but just in scrapyards in general. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited.
We're going to grill you with some hard questions. I hope you wrote something down because you might be confused. But
Yeah.
let me run it in and say, tell us just a little bit about your background.
Please don't say run it into the HR director ever again. Probably not the worst thing she's heard, but
No, it's fine.
let's
we're good.
make this a little more
It
professional
has
than
been
what is it.
ran in.
That might be
Right.
worse.
It's there. It's
probably
ran
gonna have
in.
to
It's
get-
done.
Yeah,
with.
all right. You want to start this over?
No.
All right, keep going then.
So yeah, just tell us a little bit about your background so we can get a gauge on where you're at, who
Oh,
you are.
man. Well, my background. So I started as a waitress, or I guess I've worked as a waitress for a really, really long time.
That's not really what we're talking about.
I was going to lead into.
Oh, okay. I'll quit interrupting. Your turn.
He's not going to quit.
I know. Yeah.
Go ahead and talk.
Put a gag on Jeff. Or a shock collar. Every time Jeff misbehaves,
That is
he just
true.
fucking juices. All right.
Brooks has
Yeah.
a new saying now that you'll like this, and I will quit interrupting after this. But he said, whenever you lead with an answer that says, "I probably shouldn't say this," but he's going to start shocking me to keep me in line. So,
Yeah.
anyways, tell us more about your background. I really want to hear about your paper route that led to.
Yeah. Well,
Being a
I worked
waitress
in
and all that.
the restaurant industry for the longest time. I had a growing family, and I wanted to be able to spend more time with them, so I chose to go back to school. For business, it's something that I really, really like.
And what university did you attend? What university did you attend?
University of Northern Iowa.
Go Panthers, baby! Woo!
Go Cats.
Go Cats!
Yeah.
Brooks very excited about that.
Scratching cats.
So with my background, though, with as a waitress working with people, I realized that I have kind of a knack for working with people, different types of people.
Proud of yourself, are you?
Yeah, I am a little bit. So
All
I
right,
chose
good.
human resources as my major.
Okay.
So got through that, and during COVID, that was a lot of fun. Not really, but it was hard.
There's probably nobody coming into the restaurant during COVID, right?
Nah.
It was all carry out type stuff.
Yeah.
So that probably depleted the tips and all that, right?
It did, but it was still a lot of fun. But I got.
Do you
through
think that maybe you got more tips than what you accounted for based on your math skills of adding up the points on the bracket?
I mean, that's a good assumption.
That's the last one, Steph. This is a great platform where
Just
there's no
don't tax
rules for me
audit me.
with you. So, yeah, don't tax. Wrong, sensitive subject around here. Yeah. So, but we made it through it unscathed. We're okay
Yeah.
now. So, I do know the answer to this question, but for our audience, besides my very what's the word I want to use here? Persuasive skills of getting you to this company. What brought you into this industry, or were you like me, just absolutely terrified when you came here of what this place actually was and what it is today now?
So I actually I found a post for HR, what was then A-Line, and I really plan on using it for like my practice interview because it had been a while since I've like interviewed for a position.
so we
I was
weren't
like,
real
I'm gonna go
desirable.
You didn't come here on purpose either.
Well, I was shifted here by the gods.
Yeah. Go ahead.
to this. Yeah. So yeah, this was my filler interview. But I really liked it. I really liked Julia. I mean, Jeff is okay too.
That's
so then,
what most people think.
yeah.
Seems to be a common theme.
All right.
So they offered me the job, and I was like, yeah, let's give it a shot.
Are you still practicing? Is this still a test?
This whole thing has just been the practice.
So I will vouch that Steph has brought a component to our company which we didn't have before, and quite frankly, Julia and I shouldn't be in an HR role. It was a lot to take on, and probably not doing the job that we best could do. So,
Well, when you start sentences with, I probably shouldn't say this, and then say it,
You
It was
gotta
like the Wild
learn
West
to
before.
show a little bit of restraint. That's all.
You know what?
You're getting
No,
there, buddy.
No, I'm gonna
We're
keep
here to
on
support
being
you.
me, right, Tia?
He's wearing tacos and handguns.
Yeah,
on his shirt.
tacos and
Yeah,
guns.
this is me.
That's
Let me be me. I want to be able to express myself, not quiver to you people.
all right. All right.
I've never had a problem
Nope.
with it.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that.
But I'm also not politically correct.
Swissy D over here.
He's politically
He's the
correct.
only
I'm
political rapper on planet Earth.
Steph,
Brooks.
tell me a little bit about what's different with HR in this industry specifically?
Oh boy. Oh, there's a lot different. You know, so with my background,
You
the
can just
restaurant.
say the people.
It is the people. Well, that was, you know,
That summarized it. I'm sorry.
yeah, that kind of summarized.
All right, so
No.
Noah took the answer on that.
No, for me personally, like with HR, it's more, there's a lot more to training, you know, getting people ready for, you know, the knowledge that they have to soak in to be able to do their job fully, efficiently. There's just a lot to it. Safety training is way more than what I had at any other job I've ever had. So like with this industry over the other ones I'm familiar with, it's just a lot of hands-on training and working with each other and just growing that knowledge. It's just...
That's probably important to point out too, because you had your hand in a lot of HR stuff without necessarily having the title at some previous jobs, right? So I think that prepared you maybe before the degree.
Yeah.
For sure. And so,
Do you think you learned more in college or doing hands-on stuff, like in your previous jobs?
You know, I learn really fast. I feel like I can communicate with people really well. Like I almost over communicate with them, which I think is beneficial in some cases. You know, what not to do is just as important as what to do and, you know, how to do things. But there's definitely a lot that you learn in college that, you know, you wouldn't think of otherwise.
doesn't prepare you for what this is.
Doesn't prepare you for this.
Well, speaking of which, I know there's probably quite a few things that challenge you through the day being in this company.
Noah.
Me specifically, but what are some of the challenges you do face day to day?
So challenges on day-to-day basis, it would probably goes back to safety and training. It's making sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, when they're supposed to be doing it. You know, keeping everybody cross-trained so that way if
Somebody goes down, somebody can pick up.
exactly, yeah. So that like leads me in, you know, to staffing itself.
We should avoid people going down, just for the record. like that's
There's a leave
Yeah.
of absence.
yeah. We don't want them, you know, they're not just replaceable. Although I have heard that phrase in this, and everybody here is replaceable. So, this was a bit off subject, but maybe some challenges. Have you ever been, you know, maybe asked on a date after you fired somebody or anything in that nature?
You know,
Was that new to this company only?
yes, I've never had that
Well, you
happen
worked at a
before.
bar once and had a guy ask you.
Old cat daddy.
Yeah, that was a whole different letdown for that man.
Do you think he
Steph was
expected
very honest with him. Sometimes you have to be
Brutally
factual
honest.
and say, hey, buddy, you're gross.
She's like, I run 5Ks, you do not.
She does not run 5Ks.
Speaking of which,
Not anymore.
you guys still have a race coming up, right?
We do.
Whenever you're frickin'
When's
ready.
that turf done?
I say we just run a road 5K like you guys said you would.
That's not what was said.
on
It was a
camera.
It was-
40-yard dash, and I don't think it's on. Well, it is on camera, but
You want
40 yards? Seems
Yeah.
like kind of far.
It's a
You're like,
40 yard.
we're backing out already.
no.
Backing out already.
It
want
just
the long-
sounds really
You
fun.
want the long distance, I think. I think he might.
What are
have
you
a-
trying to say?
I think you might have a short burst in you, maybe like
Yeah.
15 seconds of running left.
Yeah, Steph, I think the farther you get from 40 yards, the better your chances are
right.
in winning. So
All
if
right.
you can get to 50 or
10K.
60 yards, he's probably already.
Did you
being
actually run
loaded into an
5Ks, or
ambulance.
like have you done a few? Or
No,
were
I
you-
used to run them like I would say regularly, not like
Okay.
every weekend, but
Yeah.
yeah, I
That's
used
what
to.
you did for fun? Just
Yeah.
went out and went for a jog, did you?
A lot
Yep.
of people that do that. I don't understand it, but
No one does.
running used to be punishment.
Right.
Like that's
It-
punishment.
Yeah,
Right.
It is to me. I've never been able to run.
I'm confident that I could give you a 5-yard start and beat you in the 40.
I don't think so.
You line up
We're gonna
5 yards
find
in
out.
front of me. Line it up, film it. I'm
You
ready.
got to start in a
Well.
3-point stance.
Deal.
One hand down, 1 foot back. Other hand, what's it go back like that? That's how you got to start.
Okay.
Sprinter start.
Yep.
I was like, no, your hands are both down.
And hold on, who's judging this? Because you two will not be fair. You're just gonna eyeball.
I'll fire the gun.
Well, there's not going to be any eyeballing. So
Look at
it'll
that
blow you out of the
camera
water.
and eyeball it for the folks.
It looks like 71.
Yeah, that's gonna go out there. So, all right. Well,
Brooke says, I'm firing the gun.
I'll fire the gun.
at me,
Inside.
at me, shoot me. That's what'll go on
Shoot me
there.
twice,
So-
please.
All right. Well, other than getting asked on a date after you. Actually, we should tell that story quick. I'll make that. We talked about this before you came in. I put too much detail into my story. So the very short version of this is we had to fire a guy after several chances. He was showing up late, not showing up at all, driving around with, this really wasn't our problem, but
no license
plates. And these are the details that don't need to be added to this story to get to the end. But
it gives a well-rounded description.
Just like him, he was well-rounded.
Yeah.
That's coming from me. So anyways, Stephanie let this gentleman go. And within the hour, he found her on Facebook and said, hey, if you ever want to get dinner or have an affair sometime, just hit me up. Which Stephanie came in again. I have to tell somebody this just because I don't want this to turn back on me somehow.
Your response was going to be great, though, if you would have sent it. You were going to say, oh, I only date guys with jobs. After you fired him.
How's he going to pay for dinner?
Yeah, going Dutch.
Yep. So Stephanie's had her share of questionable harassment, people who are no longer with the company. We also had a gentleman who was just calling you late at night, too.
Yeah, that was.
How come Seth never answered the phone? Actually, Seth probably enjoyed it. Seth was probably all right with it, just for the entertainment value stuff. So outside of all of that, we're going to ask you about staffing issues in this industry now. And we kind of touched on some of them, but
those are the staffing people that I don't want.
Right. Yeah. And I think we've struggled with it just like many, not only scrapyards, but a lot of the labor force in the country in the last couple of years is
it's a new way
and few and far between. So,
yeah.
And especially, we've got other areas we've talked on the show before about staffing in Noah's scrapyard has been severely difficult compared to the other two. So,
yeah. Just in general, staffing across the country is awful. It takes 30 to 45 days to staff one person, which is just crazy.
Yeah. And then they show up for a day or two and then they don't work anymore.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, have you ever had anybody put in there 2 weeks before they started the job?
I did have that happen one time. He took the job and I was all excited, got him all set up, and then he said, never mind. I'm going to have to leave.
Do you think that was our fault or yours?
No, he had to move back home, and so he said, I can come in for 2 weeks, but I'm going to have to quit. And I said, just don't. Don't waste our time.
No, what's your thoughts on that situation?
I don't know how somebody can accept a job and put in their 2 weeks in the same day. That's impressive. That's got to be in some sort of record.
Yeah, book. They should make a movie about that.
Yeah, that's got to be a record.
Who would play you?
Steven Seagal.
Obviously. Obviously. Who would play Gwen over there?
Cameron Diaz.
Gwen Stefani.
Yeah, Gwen Stefani.
Yeah, so.
I'll take Cameron. I like her.
So, anyways, I interrupted you there, but why do you think that trend's happening, or do you see it improving anytime soon?
I really don't see it improving anytime soon.
Great.
That's not good news.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
This is why the machines are going to rise up.
It's true. I just don't think,
it's got to be
especially in art industry, it's more of a construction side industry. So you have to have people that are willing to get down in the mud, get dirty, want to tear shit apart.
Oh, yeah. Lick the grease.
Smell the steel.
Yeah.
Smell the steel.
Yeah.
There's everybody's got soft
Stephanie
hands.
just said the S word.
What'd you say?
Sorry.
Shit.
I'm not supposed to curse on
I'm
this
sorry.
show.
I wasn't aware.
Fuck.
Yeah, so now where do we go?
Everybody has soft hands. That's all you need to know.
That's what it's about?
Soft hands.
All right, soft hands.
Yeah.
Would you like to contribute to this at all? I know I've got my back to you and kind of facing you out, but
Yeah,
this
I know.
is a
It's like
microphone.
I'm
I'm
being
trying to
boxed out.
exclude you as much
Our
as
table
possible.
setup is not ideal.
No.
We've got a new studio coming soon,
Right.
hopefully.
Yeah, and hopefully we can get a half moon thing going on so that we can all just stare at each other.
I want to look you deep in
What
the
if we
eyes.
just
Yeah.
all sat a four-way? We just me and you just stared at each other.
Do you remember that
eyeballed
do you remember that Crossfire show where
Yeah.
they're sitting directly across from each other and just mean mugging each other
Yeah.
the whole time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we need to make.
They don't
We
make
need
shows like that
We need to
anymore.
introduce an intimidation factor to this thing.
Before Tia yelled at me today, we were going to talk about how we, had some technical difficulties on the last episode, and it reminded me and you of the what's his name, Bill O'Reilly.
Oh, yeah.
The outtake of him. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
I'll write it, we'll do it live. Fuck it.
Was it Family Guy that remade that?
I think
Yeah,
Family Guy
there's
did
been all
that in.
kinds of spoofs
It
on
was
that.
so
but
funny.
Yeah.
So that's why Tia yelled at me because I said, F it, we'll do it live. And so now she's an angry elf again. So poor Tia.
It's always poor Tia.
I love you, Tia.
We all love Tia. Don't
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, not till today.
Yeah. But Jeff. Yep.
Steph, to close this thing out, what do you think your favorite part about working in the recycling industry is?
Has to be the people. Because
The ones you just complained about.
I didn't complain about anybody. There's just some different characters.
I complain about them.
Yeah, you guys complain about them.
Yeah.
No, it'd be the people. There's such a wide array of people in this industry. And for me, when you get introduced to somebody and like, oh, this is the HR manager, HR director, whatever. And they just like instantly like kind of put on their proper like, like
It's because of the suit coat you're wearing at all times.
I know.
Dressed like
My
an
blazers.
assistant principal.
Yeah.
So it's kind
What
of.
did Seth say in Nashville last year?
The way she was dressed.
Yeah, we were going to, I think, Dirk's Bentley or something like that. And he
Love
said, you
Dirk's
look like you're coming to write us up. That's her own husband.
We came from a meeting, so I was still dressed in business attire.
So I also got to give Steph a quick comment. I appreciate y'all very much, Steph. You've taken on a lot of roles that are covering outside of the HR duty. So definitely thank you for that.
Yeah.
One of these, and this is going to lead into a story, but do you remember Swastika guy that was pissed when so I was there the next day. He's like, oh, where's that other lady at? And he was mad it was me instead.
Yeah.
Which his loss, I suppose.
Huh?
Yeah. So what, we interrupted that answer a little bit, but you've been a great fit for us here. It's probably not what you were expecting, I would imagine, too.
No, it wasn't. But I mean, I have a really tough skin. It's hard to offend me, so it really just kind of fit.
Yeah.
You kind of have to have a tougher skin for.
I don't know.
most
I
of the
feel like I
people.
offended you this morning
On what?
about you told me I was being sexist because I was saying that a man had to be gone a whole week for his baby. And you said that I wasn't allowed to say that.
No, I just said
For the record,
I'm giving him a week off.
yeah, we're recapping a conversation we had, but I got ridiculed for being gone for 2 days, which Brooks said was unacceptple.
I mean, if they can't have a week off, they shouldn't even get an hour off.
Right.
Yeah. I guess.
You disagree with that?
I do.
We did ask Julia this question, and Julia told us that she went into labor here. Our broke our water. It started the process. Do you know much about that? No.
I seen a lady have her water break in Walmart once.
Did you help her, or did you just run the other way?
I almost threw
Just
up.
took
Was it in the
Running.
clearance aisle?
Terrified.
I don't know what aisle I was in, but I about threw up.
That's a great way to. That's a great way to end this Women's History Month, and you're throwing up at the beauty that is
Giving birth
giving birth in life.
Oh, dude, I can't do it. I can see like
We know you can't
He's
do
gonna
it.
be he's gonna be the dad that passes out when Chelsea's giving birth to their
My
child.
dad
He's
passed
just gonna.
out. My dad passed out if he smells a hospital, and I'm afraid I'm gonna take
Do the
after
same.
that.
Do the same deal. So, but you were in the clearance aisle when this happened. That's the
Yeah,
only place. That's the only shopping you do,
I love
isn't it?
the clearance aisle.
You're
at
a big
Walmart.
clearance aisle
You gotta hit
fan.
it at the right time, like springtime. All the golf shit's going on sale. I swear, because they're getting
At
all
the
the
Walmart.
They're getting the new stuff in. Yeah, you can get golf balls, gloves. I got a whole set last year for $50.
Have you bought cable at your house yet?
No,
Internet?
no.
It's not on sale. It's not in the clearance aisle yet.
They had it in the clearance aisle. I think.
Utility company, please run a sale on the internet
Right.
so that no one
1
can
month
Try to
free.
bring Noah out of the Stone Age.
Yeah, he's just throwing, a lot of carrier pigeons out to the world. So, well, Steph, thanks for being here today.
Thanks, Steph.
It wasn't as
Welcome, it was
intimidating
fun.
as you thought it was going to be.
It was not as scary.
Do you have any notes that we didn't cover? You
didn't have to read off the notes.
Yeah, you didn't have to look down once.
She was in her office right before this, just scrolling through. I guarantee it.
Yeah, for sure. So,
I had an outline.
Bullet
you like to be
points.
prepared.
I like to be prepared.
So-
You never know what's going to happen.
You're coming to Vegas with us?
I'm coming to Vegas.
Are you going to bring any suit jackets?
It's actually your birthday in Vegas.
It is my birthday.
What?
I'm so excited.
It's your birthday too, or when we're coming home. Sorry, we're looking at Tia. If you guys obviously can't see that, but you guys got birthday week
Yeah.
in Vegas.
Are we
Yeah.
going to a club?
Yeah.
Not
club?
your kind of club, no.
Let's go.
You
to a
can go. You can go. It'll be
You're
fun.
coming. Me and Brooks are going.
All right. I guess.
For the record,
Brazilian midgets.
dudes, that's okay. Now you have to give context. You can't leave it with that.
That's all the context I was given. The last time I was in Las Vegas, I had the man in black hand me a card, and he looked at me dead in the eye and said, "It's Brazilian midget night."
And then just kept walking.
And then he kept walking.
Did you go?
No, I didn't. I tried
He's
to keep
saving
the
it for
card,
this
but my
week.
wife threw it away. So now I have no. Now I'm just gonna have to roam the streets looking for signs of Brazilian midgets.
You'll find something.
I'm going to find them.
We also had one of the coolest moments ever happen to me and you in Vegas. We came out of Circa, and as we came out of Circa, the band started playing the intro to Good Times, Bad Times.
Yeah.
Too. That's a band from Led Zeppelin that's like 40 years before you were born.
And the timing
But
of
the-
it was just like
It was out of a movie.
Yeah, we walked out there and they hit it. And
A thousand people stared at us in like an instant. It was awesome.
It really was
Awesome.
the coolest.
So we'll have to
experience.
figure out how we're going to time that and make that work. So.
I think that every time you go down to Fremont Street, it's a cool experience. So I'm looking forward.
Have you been to Vegas
I
before?
have not, so I'm really excited.
It's just a bunch of zombies walking around, and it smells like marijuana.
All right.
I also just want to point out that you also just asked the HR director to go to the strip club.
I was going to say that too. Only in this industry can you get away with that.
I don't know that you can get away with that.
You can. It'll be a Saturday or a Sunday. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
We're not working. I don't know you outside.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, the work week doesn't start till Monday.
Yeah. You can be in a bar at 11 p.m. and call somebody a moron and not get in trouble by the HR.
you kind of got in trouble.
She yelled at me, but her
She
husband
was
said
upset.
I was fine.
Yeah.
What happened?
When I called the employee a moron at the bar,
They were having an argument
Yeah.
Seth said I was
at the holiday party.
Seth's got my back.
Seth is
Somebody
Stephanie's
does.
husband, just for you folks that don't know. So, anyways, thank you for being here. If you guys are out in Vegas, make sure you say hi to Stephanie. She'll be there manning our booth.
With business cards.
Oh, God. Headshots and business cards for
We're like
push.
realtors.
Yeah, exactly. Here. Oh, you're here to buy this property, are you? So, you don't believe in digital business cards. Neither one of you do.
No, it's not that I don't. It's just that most other people don't have the capabilities for it. So you've
doesn't
got to
have a
be
smartphone?
agile and be able to.
Well,
Bring your
when you're in the
smartphones
moment
over
and
to
you're
the
like,
push booth.
Yeah, just pass
A lot
They're
of
not
these
smartphones.
guys don't have smartphones.
Yeah, bring your flip phones over and we'll put our numbers in for you.
Rich is pissed because he has a Samsung. They're both Samsung users.
that's
That's what it is.
That's
No, that's not what it is.
inferior technology, understood.
Understood.
So,
We're there now. Okay.
it's happening. So.
I'm glad to understand your guys' problem.
All right. So, anyway, Steph, thanks very much for being here. Make sure you guys come see her at our booth in Vegas. And also want to thank our sponsor, Davis Index. That's the ticker across the bottom here. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Boom. Hey, everybody. Thank you for watching the Ruin Podcast this week. Stay up to date with us at www.ruinpod.com. We also have some advertising opportunities available. Just shoot us an email at info@ruinpod.com. And to the greatest industry in the world, sometimes you just got to get out and, smell that success, baby.